Hey everyone, I just want to make this video of two quests that reminded me that sometimes we rush too much when we're playing WoW. You know, the side quests, we just want to get through them, get to the main story. But yeah, this is your friendly reminder whether you went through the main campaign or going back to play side quests, whether you're playing through it the first time or you quickly jump through all these side quests just to get as much experience as you can. Here are two quests that really reminded me to slow down and take my time with the story because there's plenty of time. And yeah, here's your friendly reminder to just slow down and enjoy the story that was written.
Maintain the order.
Yeah, there's a quest in here. I hadn't come wandering in here to try to get out of combat,
What do you need? May your
I
blades
wouldn't have
never
found
dull.
this. This Duraz, bartender, innkeeper. The hell are these guys talking about? Worried they know about your clan. So I'm assuming trying to remember. Am I carrying the axe I think I'm carrying? No, because its hilt would have been made out of a branch. Because so the War of the Ancients, there's an orc that goes. They all go back in time, and an orc gets sucked in with them, and he gets gifted an axe, and I think it's called the Axe of Cenarius. And then, like, the dragon that goes back with them, like when the orc dies, and the dragon takes the axe and gives it to one of his relatives. I don't know if it's his daughter, but he gives it to them, and it's supposed to be like he died in battle. He redeemed himself because he was like dishonored or something. And then, like she goes after Malfurion, thinking Malfurion killed him, and like basically befriends a dragon. So I'm like, is this like a distant relative,
I have lived to see
or maybe it was
them
a son?
return.
I don't remember. But great deal of pain. Ails and gathering.
Aspects watch
Yeah, so I'm
over
just like,
you.
is this who I think it is? And I mean, we're on the Dragon Isles. Because they were being very vague. Of like, you're worried about, they'll find out about your clan. Like, some people will just let things go. And I'm just like, is this who I think it is? Pulling the load in case I have to sling him over my shoulder. I can still walk, boy. That's what you said. If the Corcoran took out both your knees in Orgrimmar, I meant it. Cut down 6 of them afterward. Would have kept going if Doris falls silent and averts his eyes when they pass the innkeeper. You're worried they know about your clan. No, they were too young, too far away. I pray that evil never reaches them. He's a black dragon. What if they learn one day? Some will. The others will get to live without... No! Oh, no! No, he's a, he's part of the, Dragon Maw clan. The clan that captured Alexstrasza and, tortured her and basically made her make them dragons they could ride. So that's what he's worried about. Yeah, and when he's saying they were too far away, and they're too young, too far away, like, the dragons here, though there weren't dragons here, they were elsewhere, that they don't know what happened. Because we'll get to live without knowing the things that those things can happen. Now there much to be done to be said. Better to get on with it. But they're still here. My friend is sick. Blah, blah. What is wrong? Come close. Yeah. So, like, they are trying to redeem some of the orcs. With them being like, the orcs, they were a tool in war. Didn't think about the fact that they were sentient animals. They were just like, hey, look, these dragons that we can ride into battle. I mean, also the lore at the time, the dragons weren't intelligent. They were just dragons. That was lore that was added afterwards. Which is all of Warcraft lore.
Grace shine down on you.
I didn't finish the B one? Well, there's some... Oh, I need to relocate them.
Welcome. Browse at your leisure. Dionys Akar.
Until we meet again.
Old orc, I remind him I require no repayment. The red dragonflight values all life, even when it wanes.
Blood and thunder, victory! Farewell!
Don't tell me you're gonna complain about the taste. This is how it should have been. What? They should have lived like this. The dragons, the whelps, free, unshackled, untainted. You're not thinking about the rest of the Dragon Maw. You're thinking about what you did. I'm so happy I stopped and paid attention to this quest. Every day of my life. Here they are. Oh, I cut off. And here they are, making me medicine because they don't know. And he's going to find out they do know. They are very aware of who he is. You answered for it, Doros. You were in the camp for years. You stood against Garrosh, against Zalia, against Sylvanas. You regained your honor and you defended it. I broke whelps younger than these, Kolgar. Some honor can't be regained. A ruby whelping lands near Kara's leg, curls up and begins to drift off to sleep. Drink your medicine. It'll help. Like, this is exactly why I like to not rush through things. I know people who played the beta have already seen all this, but just the fact that people will just quest, get me out of here. But like, people who care about the lore might skip this. Like this old dragon mod, I don't remember what I have the hotkey for to turn off my HUD. But just this little tiny quest of an old dragon mod clan warrior is on the Dragon Isles, and like, yeah, they basically tortured and killed a lot of red dragons. I mean, it is a view, but at the same time, you're seeing a lot of land burn. Already selected that. The view, it may look beautiful to you. To me, it reminds me of how long we have gone. I barely recognize the landscape. Oh, he's a dragon. I grew up here when it was called the Broodlands. We used to tend the life shrines so many years ago. Then we left to help safeguard the mortals. The reason I'm here, looking over this alien landscape, is because for such a long time I dreamed about returning here. I do like that we're seeing like all different kinds of visages. This was my home. I never expected we would be gone for so long. After a while, I never expected to return. Because pretty much all of them have had like human visages, or human-like, either human or elf. So to see like a Volpera, a dwarf, we haven't seen an orc yet. I'd like to see an orc dragon. You can probably remember where you grew up, the smell of your parents cooking, or can remember playing with your friends who lived close by. No, not really. I'm a Drakthir. I was made, not born. Now imagine that you have forgotten how to get to your childhood home. You can never visit again, can never walk the paths of your childhood. Perhaps you think me overly sentimental. You try living for 10,000 years, never being able to visit your home, finally visit it only to find it completely different, and then come back to me. But they were left 20,000 years ago. Although there is enough war in this existence that maybe you do know something about it, after all. 10,000 years is a long time. 10,000 years, I can barely believe it's been that long since we left. Didn't they leave at the battle at the War of the Ancients? Can't imagine how awful that time was. The fear that surrounded us, the sundering, the betrayal of the Black Dragonflight, the Dragon Wars. Dragon Wars. You may call it something different, but I was there, and that's what I call it. All the Dragonflights versus the Black Dragonflight. We are getting backstory of the dragons. You would think it would be an easy fight. 4 versus 1 after all, even with the demon soul. The blue flight was nearly destroyed in Netherion's initial strike. So 3-1, still great odds until you realize what it was like. You only know Neltharion as Deathwing, and his brood is mad evil beings. We knew them before they fell. This wasn't some unknown menace. This wasn't some great evil looming like the Legion was. These were our friends, our loved ones. I feel like a lot of these are, maybe some employees venting about, like, how things have changed. And also adding in, like, a story. It was awful, not knowing what's going on, thinking there was something you could do to snap them out of it. They were my friends, and they were killing my brothers and sisters. Alright, maybe I was wrong about the venting part. But there are, just in this first zone, there are a lot of these, like, small little things. Very nice. Like, bringing back the world of Warcraft. I had many friends in that Dragonflight, some as close as clutchmates. Growing up, we used to play pranks on the elders. Remember one time we coated Alexstrasza's tail in honey while she slept, and what does it matter? My best friend was of the Black Dragonflight. We intermingled a lot back in those days, not like now, where most flights keep to themselves. Isn't it funny? I can't remember her name. I can remember her face. I can remember how the light bounced off her beautiful scales, but I can't remember her name. I remember the horror when I came home to find her standing over the bodies of my family, practically her family. I can remember the gut-wrenching despair as I plunged my claws into her throat. I remember the hate in her eyes as the light went out in them, but I can't remember her name. I always wondered if I had been a better friend, could I have prevented it? Did she not feel like she could come to me as she felt the corruption starting? Abyssian was cleansed. There must have been something I could have done, but she didn't come to me. Must have felt she couldn't talk to me about it. If I was a better friend, if I had told her, oh, Titans, if I had told her how I felt, would it have gone differently? I loved her, and I can't even remember her name. Well, that was very sad. Thank you for listening to me, young one. I have a favor to ask. Don't worry, no more stories. When we left this place, I left a time capsule of sorts. Would you be able to retrieve it for me? We left it at the bottom of the Ruby Life Shrine, hidden behind one of the pillars. I hid it with a sigil. If you activate it, you should see my time capsule. I'm just like, so many of these quests, I'm like, how many people are probably just like, yep, whatever, yep, okay, move on. Like that guy that is, or person that is already about to hit level 70. Did they play the beta and like have already seen all this, or... Or did they just skip it all and say, I don't care? Such a strain, Railstrass won't help me out. He grew up here. I've tried to cheer him up, but nothing seems to work. I even brought the whelps over to him. That just made him worse. Not something we can help with until he wants help. We can just be ready to provide support when he wants it. Very true. Some people, no matter how much you want to help them, sometimes you need to wait until they want help. Been a long time since I left this here. I barely remember what was in it. We're not gonna find out what's in it? Oh, a pressed leaf. I'm sure I thought that was important at the time. Oh, this is an old focus for tending to the eggs. I remember this. There is a lot to go through here, and these old bones can only take so much. I'll have to check through it later. Oh, apparently I left a letter, too. Gonna find out her name. Oh, Titans. I barely recognize the dragon who wrote this. I was so hopeful when I left. I was so sure we could make a difference. But I wouldn't give to feel just the smallest fraction of that again. Thank you, young one. You've given me some things to think about. Her name wasn't in it? You're gonna blue ball us like that, Blizzard? You didn't put her name in it?